On 8 March 2014, a Malaysian Airlines took off from Kuala Lumpur but did not reach its destination till this day, and no one knows where that flight is right now. But after 8 years, the research team finally found a clue about the location of this aircraft. Friends, I welcome you once again to Txslx. The date was 8 March 2014, and the flight MH370 of Malaysian Airlines was bound to take off from the Malaysian capital Kuala Lumpur and had to land in Beijing, the capital of China. 2 pilots, 10 cabin crew, and 227 passengers were present on that flight. Most of the passengers belonged to China, and both the pilots were very experienced. 53 years old Captain Zeri Ahmed Shah had 33 years of flight experience, while 27 years old co-pilot Farouk Abdul Hamid was a junior pilot with 7 years of flight experience. This aircraft was an 11 years old Boeing 777 aircraft in which there was no problem of any kind, nor was the aircraft a victim of a mechanical or electrical fault in the past. It was a regular flight that was traveling from Malaysia to China. But today was not a normal day for this flight. The aircraft was supposed to fly for 5 hours and 34 minutes. But before takeoff, it was loaded with fuel that was more than required, and now this plane could fly for 7 hours and 41 minutes. That is 2.5 hours more than its actual requirement. It is also a routine practice for this airlines to do so. This is done so if the plane diverts due to bad weather or an emergency, it could utilize the extra fuel. The day was 8 March 2014. And the time was 12:42 am when flight MH370 took off from Kuala Lumpur as per routine. The first pilot Zeri was in direct contact with the Kuala Lumpur Air Traffic Control Tower before and after the takeoff. After taking off, the aircraft turned its direction towards the South China Sea just after 20 minutes at 1:09 am. The transponder on the aircraft sent its current GPS location to the radar of the Kuala Lumpur Air Traffic Control Tower. This is an automatic function of the transponder to send its current GPS location to the nearest radar after a short period of time. Till now, everything was going according to the plan. After 10 minutes at 1:19 am, flight MH370 left Malaysia and entered the boundary of Vietnamese air. The control tower of Kuala Lumpur contacted the first pilot Zeri for the last time and said this.
Malaysian 370. Malaysian 370, contact HB 120.9, right. Good night, Malaysia.
This meant that now flight MH370 should contact the Vietnam control tower. Captain Zahri heard this message and also replied to it. Neither the control tower nor did Captain Zahri know that this goodnight message was going to be the last message to be received by MH370. 37 minutes had elapsed since the flight took off. Usually, until the plane reaches its destination, it stays in contact with the air traffic control tower of any major airports coming in its way. Similarly, it was expected to happen here as well. Everything that was normal started becoming abnormal. Yes, exactly after 3 minutes after his last message at 1:21 am, flight MH370 suddenly disappeared from the radar of both Kuala Lumpur and Ho Chi Minh Airport. But this was completely normal for the Kuala Lumpur control tower, because they thought that flight MH370 had now entered the Vietnamese airspace. But when the Ho Chi Minh control tower saw flight MH370 disappearing from the radar, they felt something was wrong. They immediately tried contacting the captain, but no one responded. For the next 18 minutes, Ho Chi Minh Tower tried to contact MH370, but still got no response from the captain. Now the tower contacted Kuala Lumpur and briefed them with the situation. Normally, in this condition, the rescue center has to be informed within an hour, but the Kuala Lumpur control tower informed the rescue coordination center after 4 hours, and by then, it was too late. It was 6:15 am, and this was the time when MH370 was scheduled to land in Beijing. There was a hope that the aircraft might land at the correct time, but no positive news came from there either. At 6:32 am, a search operation was started at the exact place from where the plane disappeared. 34 ships and 28 aircrafts from 7 countries started searching for flight MH370 on the border of Gulf of Thailand and the South China Sea. But unfortunately, there was no trace of the aircraft. By this time, the whole world had come to know about this incident. TV, news websites, and social media were all showing only this news. During this, the investigation team of many countries also became a part of this search operation. No one was really able to understand the reason behind the sudden disappearance of the aircraft from all the radars. And even if it crashed on this area of the sea, being such a big aircraft, it was expected some wreck to be seen. This search operation continued for the next 4 days. But still, there was no trace of the aircraft. On the 4th day, a news arrived that shocked the entire rescue operation team. When flight MH370 disappeared from the radar at 1:21 am on 8 March, it had disappeared from the civilian radar but remained on the radar of the Malaysian military for the next 1 hour. For a few minutes, the aircraft started moving towards the right and then took a U-turn and turned back to Malaysia. After 31 minutes, the aircraft crossed the Malaysian city of Penang and turned towards the Malacca Strait. Flight MH370 was last detected upon this point of the Indian Ocean, as far as the range of the military radar could detect, and the time was 2:22 am. After this, MH370 neither showed up on the military radar nor on the civilian radar. The entire rescue team and every person associated with the plane were only trying to solve one mystery. Where did the aircraft go? What bothered them more was that why did the plane take a sharp U-turn in the direction exactly opposite to Beijing? The rescue team that was earlier looking for the plane in the Gulf of Thailand and the South China Sea now started their search in the Indian Ocean. But surprisingly, there was no trace of the airplane there as well. After the next few days, another piece of information surfaced, and once again it changed the whole situation. The airplane disappeared from the military radar at 2:22 am, but there was a satellite with which it was in constant contact. Let me update you here that it is normal for Boeing airplanes to try to contact the satellite when their own communication system fails due to some reason. The plane automatically tried to contact a satellite in Marsat, 35,000 kilometers away. After every hour, with the help of data saved on this satellite, experts performed a complex calculation. So finally, the next move of flight MH370 was also known. It was found that the Malaysian aircraft again took a turn after disappearing from the military radar and kept flying over the Indian Ocean in the same direction for the next 5 hours. At 8:19 am, the aircraft tried to contact the satellite for the last time, and this was the last signal from MH370. After this, neither did the plane contact any other satellite nor it showed up on any other radar. Experts and the investigation team believe that the plane's connection to the satellite was lost after coming to this curved spot in the Indian Ocean. After taking off from Kuala Lumpur, this plane took a total of 8 hours to reach this curved spot, and the total fuel on this plane was also of exact 8 hours. So there is a high chance that MH370 might have crashed into this curved spot due to running out of fuel. This highlighted curved area of the Indian Ocean is bigger than the whole of India, and a deep search operation was started here. It was very important to find MH370 because until the plane and its black box were found, it would remain unknown what happened inside the aircraft before the crash. Searching for the plane went on not just for months, but for many years. But no clue for the plane was found. After 3 years, the deep search operation was finally stopped, in which more than $160 million were spent. No part of the plane was found during the search operation, but in 2015, a year after the plane's disappearance, the plane's right flaperon reached on the island of Reunion. This is the part of the plane that comes in handy when landing. When this flaperon was investigated, another horrible reality was revealed. Experts believe that this flaperon was not extended when flight MH370 crashed in the water. And sadly, this means that while crashing on the water, the aircraft fell into the sea on its nose. Many other parts of the planes were found from the shores of Africa during the next several years. But till this date, no one has a clue of the plane or the passengers. To this day, no one knows what might have happened inside Malaysian flight MH370 before it disappeared. Some investigators suspect that the plane was hijacked, while some believe that due to an electrical failure, the aircraft's contact with the outside world was broken, and due to the lack of oxygen, all the people inside the aircraft had fainted. Well, the actual reason can only be known from the recordings saved inside the black box of the plane, which is missing somewhere in the Indian Ocean along with the plane. In February 2022, after full 8 years of the disappearance of MH370, the aircraft was once again expected to be found. Richard Godfrey, a British retired airspace engineer, has claimed that he found out the actual location of the plane through weak signal propagation analysis. And surprisingly, the pinpoint location which Richard has mentioned is present in the same curved area of the Indian Ocean. Richard believes that the wreck of the missing aircraft is lying 4,000 meters below the ocean at the exact point he had mentioned. The depth is the same as to where Titanic laid for 74 years before it was discovered in 1985. Now the question is, how seriously the Malaysian authorities take the claim of this retired airspace engineer, and whether a new search operation will be launched at this location or not. Only the time will tell. That's it for this video. If you have any questions, make sure to ask them in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more informative videos like this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.